Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Board Games Unlocked, and today I'm doing a discussion over Santorini, the Pantheon Collector's Edition. Now, years ago I had done a discussion and a run-through on Santorini, but this is the new sexy version that has the Lazy Susan, so that warrants an updated discussion. Now, this obviously is complete overkill, and what's kind of crazy is that Santorini was already an overly produced game for what is essentially an abstract game. But this Pantheon edition is so nicely produced that I was like, I gotta cover it. Because, not only is this edition, with the Lazy Susan very nice, but the storage element of the actual buildings, like just cleaner, they found some way to equally streamline this game, which I completely forgot that the rulebook is down at the bottom. And did I say rulebook? I meant literally a sheet that just explains the setup and how you win. Because at its core, Santorini is a very simple game. You move and you build. And your goal is to get your guy up to the top before your opponent. And this game can be played 2, 3, or 4 player, but generally it's a 1v1 abstract game. And the thing that I love about Santorini is that it kind of gives me that same feeling that Onitama has, in the sense that what you do on your turn is incredibly simple, but the game becomes a lot more deep the further you continue to play. Because whenever you're moving, one, you can move pretty much anywhere. You can climb up only one level, but you can jump down any number, but you can build anywhere. So it's not like you can just build a level above. So if you see someone who moves one space and they're going to win next turn, if you can get one of your workers next to it, next to the spot, you could then just build and put a cap on top of it that stops them. It becomes a game a lot about positioning and blocking, and because it's not just one worker against another worker, you have 2 workers, you're working in tandem with your own 2 workers to block and position yourself to be to allow your other worker to go in and get the winning condition. And that in and of itself would be kind of fine, albeit a little bit boring if you had to play just like that. But the fact of the matter is that there are so many gods that you play that break the rules of this game that it's insane. And this Pantheon Collector's Edition comes with all the gods. And it even comes with, I don't know, I haven't checked every single god or compared them to the previous edition, so I don't know if they, rebalance some of these, but I know that they found ways to make it easier to make sure you have a good pairing between the god abilities. Because I think somewhere in here, it says advanced gods may be banned versus other gods, and then banned in the glossary. Advanced gods will sometimes ban other gods by name or icon who should not be used in the same game. And so they made it a lot more streamlined to figure out, okay, because all you do is you take all the gods, shuffle them up. Oh, and for the record, the Collector's Edition has plastic cards, which is just very sexy. And then you deal one out to each person. And so on the back of every god, it explains what it does, and on the front is the iconography. But now there's new icons that explain kind of what they do. Oh, hey, Triton is about movement. Oceanus? Oceanins? I don't know her name. She rolls a die. One is, this character is really good with building. But in the advanced gods, it'll actually show, hey, do not play this god with another god because it's just not going to work. And honestly, I actually prefer that, because with how many gods there are in this game, there's just no way to figure out how to balance them all. So I much prefer having a ton of gods, and then whenever you randomly deal out the gods, that it says, oh, don't play with these gods. So then you look and it's like, oh, you're not one of the gods mentioned? Cool, then we can play. Or you are one of the gods mentioned, we'll give you another ability, or we'll give myself another ability to make it a more fair match. Or you could just see if it works. see if there's some way to overcome it. But because these god powers become very, very insane, and I mean they like you start with like these basic gods, which there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. There are 32 basic gods that you start with. They actually already range from very good abilities to where you're just gonna be able to have a completely different style of game every time that you play just with these alone. And they do range from being extremely simple. Atalanta, once per game, your worker moves any number of additional times. Okay, that's pretty busted. Iris, if there's a worker neighboring your worker and the space on the opposite side of it is unoccupied, you can move to the opposite side regardless of level, so you can kind of hopscotch. Atlas, who I find to be the most broken, he can build a dome at any level. So it's like, oh, I'm going to pop a level 1 down, and I'm going to block it. Because once there's a dome on it, you can't remove them, and you can't land on them. So he just becomes extremely annoying. Then it gets to, Demeter. Your worker may build 1 additional time, just not on the same space. There's Limus. Opponent workers cannot build on spaces neighboring your workers unless they're building a dome. Athena. If one of your workers moved up a level on your last turn, opponent workers cannot move up a level this turn. Pan, he has an alternative win condition. If he can move down 2 or more levels, then he wins. So, just the ones that I mentioned, Artemis, your worker may move 1 additional time, but not back to its starting space. So just those abilities alone give you insane levels of depth whenever you're playing this game. And some people might be thinking, oh, this game really isn't that deep. But it is, because it's an abstract game. So every abstract game, besides maybe chess, becomes, hell, even chess is straightforward to learn the rules, or Go is straightforward to learn the rules. It becomes a lot more of, we're no longer playing the game, we're playing the opponent. And what makes games like this way more fun for me personally is because of that variation. Like, don't get me wrong, I respect chess to an insane level. And I'll play chess and I'll have a good time, but chess has that element of, well, you are better than me, or you have played longer than me, so I am going to lose. If I'm playing chess and I move a piece and they're like, the rickshaw backshot maneuver, it's like, yep, okay, we're done here. If you're naming moves or naming strategies, I'm not there. But that's why I love other types of abstract games, because while I'm still playing the opponent, then these kinds of abilities are always exciting. Looking at what my opponent can do and thinking how I can either counter that or make it useless or, take advantage of it, makes these super fun. And of course, the production value of this edition helps tremendously. The plastic cards make it sexy. Now, these components, as far as I can tell, they're the exact same. Those have always been nice. I don't remember if the domes had different designs on them in the original, but they do here. So even whenever you're done and someone wins, which takes like 20 minutes, you're like, all right, let's set up again. It's like, I want to try this ability one more time, and then you'll do a new one. So not only do you have an insane amount of 32 cards from the basic, then you go into, there's 4 expansions. I haven't even opened these, because one, they did something smart and just say, hey, play many games with the base gods before opening this expansion. And they say it on all of these. So you have, I don't even know how many are in each of these packs. It looks, hold on, actually, I can probably figure it out. There are probably at least like 15, 16 gods in each of these expansions. Let's just say 15 for easy numbers. So that means there's 60 additional gods on top of, so you have 90 gods that by the time you're done playing these, you just shuffle them all together. And then you have nearly 100 gods to use. The Soaring Over Olympus, Hiding in the Underworld, Tales of Poseidon, and Seasons of Chaos. That these are the advanced gods that they're talking about that ban, matches. But I love the fact that they kept these separate from one another. That once you've completely, played and you understand really how Santorini works, then you can either set these aside and be like, hey, which one of these sounds the most fun? Between all of these, I want to do the Hiding in the Underworld. So then you just open this up, shuffle these together, and play with these gods for a while. And then once you kind of either are bored of these, or maybe you find gods in here that you don't like or whatever, then you put them in with the base gods, and then you try a new pack, and then you keep the packs isolated from one another. Because I know whenever they kept releasing gods, or they had advanced gods in the original edition, they didn't, I know that they said base gods and advanced gods, but I know that when you shuffle them all together because you want to just have more variety, you can kind of get overwhelmed, or because they didn't do the banning stuff until later, that it might just become, you just get unfair matches, and then that can kind of definitely tank the game. But yeah, this simplicity of move and build on your turn with a wrench thrown in with your god power has always made me really like Santorini. And with this new sexy zhuzhed up version of Santorini, it's just easier. It's just way easier to get to the table, especially just because this Lazy Susan is literally 2 parts. Although there is a piece in here that in the box that I'm not entirely sure why it exists. I guess if you don't want the Lazy Susan, it does come with a flat board. Hello! That it's like, why does this exist? I have my Lazy Susan, and I don't ever see a reason why I would ever not use it. So, yeah, this is, it exists. So yeah, this is the version to get, I'd say, if you can get it. I think they knocked it out of the park, but it was really nice to come back to Santorini, because I hadn't played it in years. I played the one that I don't even think it was it Roxley that did it? The Ragnarok one that no one really liked, from what I can tell. What was that one called? Ragnarok. I think it was just called Ragnarok. Of course, looking up Ragnarok is not gonna pull up anything. But yeah, there was like some other kind of version of Santorini that was Viking themed, and it didn't hit the same. Like I really found there was a lot more imbalance, and this is just clean, simple, and has a lot of layers of depth with a ton of varieties with the gods, and it looks sexy as hell. So yeah, this is a great one to pick up if you're wanting a lighter. This game just adheres to all types of crowds, because it's like, hey, this is a very casual one you can just play if you don't want to get too into depth with abstract games. But then if you have gamers who you want to actually really get into the strategy, it also hits that. So that's very difficult to have that balance between casual to extreme gamers, and I think Santorini does that pretty damn well. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, like Santorini was already sitting at, I believe it was an 8. Santorini. Let's pull that up. Came out in 2016. Jeez. Wow. That was 9 years ago. Almost 10 years old. Oh my god! Existential crisis. So it was already an 8 for me, but I think with the production value and the way that they cleaned it up and streamlined it even more, I'm gonna have to give it a 9. It bumps up by one whole point for that. But that's it, everyone. Let me know what you think of Santorini in the comments below. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you. Hey everyone, thank you for watching, and I really hope that you enjoyed the video. If you would like to see more of my content, go ahead and click that subscribe button and the bell to be notified whenever I upload any new content. If you feel like supporting the channel, you can go ahead and click that Patreon link to be taken to my Patreon, and any help is truly appreciated. Other than that, stick around for any other run-throughs or reviews or cool top 10s or whatever I feel like putting on. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you.